Next intel piece. The Federal Reserve is some of what's been going on and how and why they've kept money afloat. And this should be listening to in every country around the world. This is what they've done to you. The Federal Reserve issues currency allocations, not only for America, but also 148 countries and their currencies also. Now, under the Fed agreement that our treasonous Congress signed off on back in 1913, no other country can issue its own currency without the signature of the Federal Reserve. So the Fed's not only running America, it's the other 148 countries also. So when the Fed started putting fake supernotes of US dollars in the system, they then did the same to the other 148 countries. But here's the kicker. Now, for those who are new, who don't know what supernotes are, every dollar note or euro has an allocation number on it. It's probably a letter and a range of numbers. All numbers are documented and recorded, and there can only be one version of any allocation number. As the Fed was legally blocked from any more currency printing back around a decade ago, which requires new allocation numbers for those new notes, which they are also blocked from doing by Kim. The Fed and the Rothschilds clowns started printing notes via the De La Rue Company with copy numbers of the original allocation numbered notes. These are your super notes, and they're all counterfeit. But here's the kicker. So the Fed started placing these notes in 148 countries and then began stealing the real notes. So say there was a note with A123 on it, there would be a super note with A123 on it. They would locate the original one, take it out and replace it with a super note. But this quantum system recognizes the super notes and started throwing them out. But now they have another problem, as they can't get the originals back into the system either. Oops. As now it would be flagged as a duplicate number by the system. So 148 countries now have over 80% of their currency in fraudulent money in circulation, making the Federal Reserve the largest counterfeit organisation in the world. And the whole world is being scammed by waiting for the Federal Reserve allocation numbers, which they said would come from the Fed. They can't allocate numbers. Only Kim can allocate new numbers. But message to all the other countries around the world. Since 2017, no country needs to wait for the Fed for allocation numbers. You can just go directly to the trust. But at what point is the whole world going to get together and stop these harvesting agents looting every single country on a massive scale? This has gone on for 106 years now, 7 years. The countries have to get together. 148 countries are running around with 80% of super notes.